Hi everyone, this is Sharon. Today's session is going to be a little craft with me session, and it is also my latest design team project for Lydia at Raindrop Lila. About a week or so ago, I watched a video by Mandy of Sunflower Indoors, and she was making these really pretty simple but really cute ephemera pieces, and I thought I would make those for my project. So I created one as a sample. These are not papers of Lydia's, but I just use this for another project, and I put one together, and I thought we could make a couple variations of that today. So this is what it looks like. Oh, and I will be sure to link Mandy's video down below so you can watch hers too. She made some really nice ones in her video. So what it is it's just kind of like a trifold, and it's got this one. I put a pretty image on the back, but then it has this flap on the side with these two eyelets and just a little edge where you can take this side and tuck it in there, and I thought that was really cool. And then on the inside, I put something neutral where you could use as a writing spot. And Mandy had hers folded in like this and in like that, and then she tucked it in that way. But on this one, I folded mine out and tucked it in just because I kind of wanted to see both sides of my paper. And I also thought it was kind of nice to be able to just pull on this and pull it out. So I am going to set that one aside, and we are going to make a couple of them today. So for my first one, I pulled this image from Lydia's Parisian, the Standard Layout collection, and I love this image. It's really pretty. And then on the back, I put this image. I wanted to use a couple images from her latest set, which is called Foliage and Script. Really pretty kind of fall colors in that kit. So that's what I put on the back of this one. And then the second one we're going to make has this beautiful photo from her Old Soul kit. And then on the back, I've got another kind of neutral image from the Foliage and Script one. So let's put that one aside and we'll work on this one first. The dimensions of my paper, now you can play around with that a little bit. The one that I made is my sample, and these are about 10 inches long by 6.5 tall. And I left this little blank white spot or strip on this side of the page because that's where I'm going to do my fold over on this side with the grommets in it. And I didn't want to cut off too much of this image, so I just left it plain white, and I'm going to be covering that up. I thought for this one, similar to my sample, I would use a strip of vintage wallpaper. This is kind of, I think it's like a vinyl wallpaper, but it's very neutral. I've got a lot of pattern and color going on in this one, so I thought that would look the best along that edge. And what else? Maybe we just get started. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is to glue this on. And like I said, these are really simple. Other than the eyelets, I'm always feel like I am being adventurous doing eyelets on screen. So I'm going to glue this on. I'm going to wrap it around because that just makes this edge a little bit thicker and stronger for your tuck spot. And then we can go from there. So get some scrap paper here, and I'm just going to glue that on with some glue stick. Give it a good coat up and down. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this over that edge and cover up all the white. Turn it around. Hopefully I have that on there pretty straight. Okay, and then I'm going to get my scissors and cut these little ends off. And then this. Okay. And then let's just fold this in. I'm just going to fold it just ever so slightly beyond the edge of that piece of wallpaper, just so that doesn't bend along the edge there. So this will be our back, and this will be this side. Now we are going to set 2 grommets or eyelets in here. So I think I need to do a little bit of measuring for those. Make sure they're equal distance. Let's see. I think maybe something like that. So maybe I'll go 1 3/8 and 1 3/8. And then let's see, how far from the end do I want those? I think, yeah, they're probably good right there. Let's just go like 5/8 of an inch. I think I want them, well, you don't want them too close to this edge because you want to be able to tuck it in there. So I'm just going to go a little bit more than halfway. So let's just do 5/8. And then 5/8 in. All right, and then I'm going to use these grommets. They're about 1/4 of an inch hole, so I will get my crocodile and punch with my 1/4 inch hole punch. And then on this side, okay, now here's the real test. Now you can decide whether you want, these are a little bit bigger than 1/4 inch, but I'm going to make them work. You can decide whether you want the top on this inside flap or on this back side. I kind of like the idea of having them here because that's kind of what is facing you if you look at it from this side. I would consider this my back side, I guess. Okay, so let's get this one set. And then this one. Okay, I think those worked pretty well. We are just about done already. So this one, I thought I would fold it in and in like Mandy did hers, just because of the way this bird ended up. And if I folded it out this way, I really didn't like the look of that so much. So you just kind of have to curl it in. Or what I did was, I think, just decide how wide you want this way. And that's where your first crease would be. So I think I want to put mine something like this. So I'm just going to fold that right there. And then figuring out this fold, you want to make sure that it comes over the top of the flap so it sticks in there, but not beyond where your grommet is. So I'm just going to, it works better folding it back first. That's how I mistakenly decided on the other one. I was not going to fold it inside because I like the way it looked. So you could fold it like that to the outside if you wanted, or this one I think I'm going to fold to the inside. So I'm just going to fold it like that and tuck it in. And that is our finished project. Now we can do some embellishing, maybe put a label or something on the back side or the front. I might do that. I'll do that at the end after I make both of them. We'll do maybe just a tiny little bit of decorating. And as you notice on this one, I used some vintage wallpaper for my flap, and I also put it on this edge just to make it a little bit stronger and add a little bit more interest. But because I am flapping this one to the inside, I'm not going to do anything with that edge. I don't want it to get too bulky in there. So like I said, some nice writing room on the inside, or you could put some pockets in there and keep some ephemera in it. I think it would be a fun piece to just include in a journal. So let's put these aside and work on our second one. So this one, I have my nice house image. I just have a boatload of new Amity Bloom tape coming in, so I thought I should use up some of my old ones. So I found this one. And so what I thought I would do is, first off, I'm going to lay this down here before I fold. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there to make sure my tape sticks well. And then I'm going to, instead of the wallpaper, I'm going to put some of this tape on here. And I think I'm just going to lay it just over the edge of that white so it doesn't show. I know I wasted a little bit on this end, but I kind of wanted to get like all these colors in there. So I'll use that for something else. Okay, so now I got it sticking to my paper. I will trim this off. And then trim this side off. Okay, so that's going to be my flap. Now I made this one extra long just because this is not real thick and sturdy like my wallpaper. So I thought I would just fold it in twice. You're not going to see that white part on the inside. So let's just fold this first over the tape. I don't want to fold the tape, so I just want to go ever so slightly beyond the tape. And fold that to the inside, and we'll glue that down. See how that looks. A little bit farther. Okay. So I've got a little bit of white showing. I'm just going to grab my inker and just kind of get rid of that. A little bit of ink. I use gathered twigs most of the time. I never used to ink at all, but I find myself doing it more often lately. Must just be the style of journals I'm making. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. And then on the inside, I'm just going to take my glue stick and glue this flap down, and that will give it just a little bit sturdier of an edge and a flap. So flap that in. Okay, so we've got our tape there, and then on the inside we're going to fold this in now just beyond the tape so it doesn't crease or bend. And this is going to be where we set our eyelets. So I think that looks good. And then on this side, we're good. So I'm just going to mark these off again. So I think I'll go I'm not going to be able to see that on the tape probably. Okay, and then let's see. Now, if you're the kind of person who just likes to eyeball these things, you would already have yours in. I don't even know if that's the right spot. I better check again. Yep. Okay. So there. And then here. Okay. The paper always sticks in those holes. I'm going to have to just guess. All right. Grab a couple of eyelets. I'll stick them both in right away. Okay, so we've got those set, and just double check they look good on that side. Okay, so for this one, I thought I would round these corners just a little bit on this side because they'll be facing out to the front. Okay, so now I'm going to fold again the width that I would like this to be. And I want to make sure some of that is, I think, right about there. And then this one's going to fold back, I think right about there. Okay, that will tuck in there nicely. And I thought on this one we'd really go out there and maybe add a nice little tab along here so you have something that you can use to pull it out. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue and glue that down. Okay, so tuck that one in. We can see just a little bit of our nice photo peeking through. We've got this tree image from the inside and our washi on there in the back. So we pull this out and it looks like that. So I think I will maybe go look for some labels and I'll be back and we can just do a little bit of embellishing. Okay, I went digging for some labels and I found a couple for each of our little ephemera pieces. And I just wanted to say, every once in a while people ask me how my ephemera holder is holding up these plastic pockets that I put in there, if you watch the video on how I made that. And I have to say they're holding up really well. I'm digging in here all the time and I haven't had any problem with these pockets coming loose. So that's really worked out well. Okay, so let's start with this one. I thought for this one I would grab these two and put this one up here, maybe down here, because this one I thought I would put up in the corner just to kind of pull a little bit of blue from this washi tape on here. And then this one I think maybe I'll put down here. So this one's on some sticky label paper. So I'm just going to kind of set that down there. It's a little bit see-through, which is kind of cool. It's a little subtle. Oops. Okay, and then this one, like I said, I want to kind of wrap it around this corner so it's visible on the front. And then the rest of it will be on this back side. Okay, so let's put some glue on the back of that. I will set that one aside and let that dry off before I turn the corner on that fold. And then we can work on the other one. So for this one, I pulled these two. I thought this journal one would look nice up here. I don't want too much on this front because it's got a lot of pretty colors on it. I'll just stick that one on there. And then on this back side, I thought maybe not the whole thing, but maybe something like this. Okay, grab my scissors. I'm just going to cut that off. And then ink up that edge a little bit. Okay, I think that just adds a little bit of interest to both sides. So we have that one and then this one. I think I can fold now and tuck you in. Oh, I should mention on these labels, Those come from Sampool. This one was from Everlasting Journals, and I think that's also Sampool, and this one is Roxy Creations. Okay, so that is our project for today. Pretty simple, but yet I think impactful. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you come back and see me next time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.